back to Brown and Lovely. So we're gonna start a 101 series to talk about the basics of both skincare and makeup, and today we're talking all about skincare.
So there's a lot of different skin types and people don't usually know for sure what type of skin type they have. And so one quick test is if you wash your face and don't put anything on it, let it sit for 30 minutes. If your skin feels very parched and tight, you probably have dry skin. If your skin looks shiny and it started to accumulate oil, it's probably oily skin. And then if you have a combination of the both where your T-zone area is oily but then your cheeks feel tight, then you probably have combination skin. And so those are the three big skin types. And then a fourth category is also sensitive skin, but that's more of a condition than it is a skin type. So you can have sensitive and dry skin, you can have sensitive and oily skin, and it can be really intimidating with skincare because it's a whole world of its own and there's a lot of information and a lot of products out there. And so we're just going to go through what the high level basic facts are that you need to know to get started.
Yeah, and as usual, we have to put out a disclaimer here. Sahaana and I are in no way dermatologists. All of these products that we talk about, we have tested and it works well for our skin. Obviously, before you put like a product on your face, make sure you patch test that on your hands or something just to make sure that you're not sensitive or allergic to any of the ingredients in that product.
Yeah, a couple of good habits to follow is if you're using a new skincare product, then always introduce one at a time. So don't buy like 5 new products, use them all at once, and then if you break out or something, if you react to it, you won't know what caused it. So introduce one new product at a time, and then with patch testing, your inner forearm is a good place to do it, and then if you're still not sure about putting on your face, like behind your ear is also a good place to do a patch test. Yeah, so I tend to have like normal to combination skin. I wouldn't say that I have overly concerned like oiliness or dryness. It kind of is a mix of both, which can be annoying when it comes to skincare because you have to keep changing things, especially because we live in the northeast part of the US where we do have 4 seasons that are very different. So in the summer, my skin is definitely more oily and I have to cut back on all of the moisturizing products, but then in the winter my skin is extremely dry and I have to introduce all of these like layers of moisture. And so it's kind of, you have to evolve from, you know, whether it's January or July with combination skin, and you have to sort of play with different products before you figure out what works and what doesn't. A couple of things that I notice is my like forehead to nose area is where most of the oiliness is, and so I'll exfoliate a little extra like on my forehead, and I tend to get more breakouts there. And then my cheeks, like this part of my face is where most of the dryness is, so I'll just make sure that I'm layering on a little extra of the product there.
Okay, so my skin is very dry, like it's extremely dry and dehydrated at the same time. During the summer months, it's not that bad. I don't have to moisturize a lot. Sometimes my skincare routine over the summer is basically non-existent because I really don't have to use anything. But when it's like September and it's like fall or winter, it's when my skin really starts to like get very dry, very dehydrated. So then I have to like look at products that have a lot of water content and not so much of alcohol content. So yeah, I feel like sticking to a skincare routine is very important, and over the course of time I've definitely seen my skin like improve and not get very like flaky and dry during the winter. And another thing is make sure that you like work all of your products in before you start to see anything that's damaging to your skin or before it's too late. So for instance, even though like actual winter didn't start until like I would say like October or November, I started to like introduce my winter skincare into my skin in like early September, just to like get my skin started before it can like something bad can happen to it.
So today we're going to show you our skincare routine. So I'm going to show you the morning routine, and then Abhi will show you the night routine.
So after cleansing and drying, I'm going to use a toner. So the one that I'm using today is the Rose Deep Hydration Facial Toner by Fresh. This is really good because my skin is extremely dry, especially during the winters. So if you have more oily or combination skin, then you could use something that has more of like witch hazel or tea tree in it. So I like to pat this product on my skin using my hands, but obviously you can also use a cotton pad if you like that more. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes for this to dry before I apply serum. Okay, so for serum, I'm going to use the Ultra Repair Hydrating Serum by First Aid Beauty. I usually skip serum during summer, but because it's winter now and it's really cold, I definitely need this in my skincare routine. So you just need like a pea-sized amount, and I'm just going to pat that again with my fingers. Again, I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry before I move on to the next step. Okay, so my serum has dried, and the next step is moisturizing my face. So I'm going to start with eye cream. So today I'm using the Hyaluronic Eye Cream by Badescu. This is it has a very thick consistency. I personally don't like it as much as I thought I would, but I'm going to use it because I have to finish the product before I can buy a new one. This I specifically use during my nighttime routine because I can't really use it in the morning. When I apply concealer over it, it does not sit well. So I definitely like to use it only at nights. So I'm going to use a little bit in my ring finger and just pat that under my eye. And like I've mentioned in my previous video, always make sure that you only use your ring finger under your eye area because that skin is very sensitive and you don't want to like tug or pull too tight on it. So the next step is moisturizing my face, and for this I like to either use the Keiehl's Ultra Facial Cream or I like to use the Keiehl's Midnight Recovery Concentrate. You could use both, but I feel like it gets a little too oily and I don't really want that. So today, for this video, I'm going to use the Midnight Recovery Concentrate. This is really nice because it smells so relaxing and it's perfect to use before you go to bed. And you don't need to use that much, you just need to use a drop on either sides, and I'm just gonna once again pat this product in with my fingers. So the last thing I'm gonna do is the Laneige Water Sleeping Mask. This is a really nice product if you have extremely dehydrated and dry skin. I only use this during winters, and I also don't use this every day. I only use this product maybe twice or thrice a week, or if my skin is extremely dehydrated and I really need some hydration. So this is what it looks like. It also smells very nice and relaxing. So I'm gonna again just take a little bit and pat it on my face. So this is a sleeping mask, which means you just apply a very thin layer of this on your skin right before you go to bed. And when you wake up the next morning and wash it off, it's gonna make your skin very hydrated and smooth. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I like to just finish everything off with a lip balm.
So I'm gonna start off with washing my face with the Clean and Clear Morning Burst wash. Okay, next I'm gonna do toner. So I'm using the Belif Witch Hazel toner. I tend to have combination skin, which means that my forehead and nose T-zone area gets oily and I'm more prone to breakouts there. But then my cheeks and the rest of my skin gets very dry. But I like the Witch Hazel in this because it does help with those type of issues like breakouts and inflammation. I usually use my hands, but if I really want the toner to feel like it's sinking in, I do like using a cotton ball better. I just feel like it ends up wasting a lot of the product, so I don't do that every day. So next I'm using a vitamin C serum, and you're only supposed to use vitamin C serums in the morning, so you just need tiny pea-sized amount. And this helps with your skin being more radiant and glowing, and it just brings out the brightness. Next I'm going to use an eye treatment. So I use the Caffeine solution by The Ordinary, and I actually use this both at night and in the morning. I tend to have really dark circles and puffiness under my eyes, and so I really like using this, and just a tiny, like pea-sized amount, or even half of that is more than enough. I'm not like pushing it in, I'm just doing a really light layer. And then I'm just gonna let it dry for like 30 seconds. While I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna do my lips real quick. So I use a lip scrub, not every day, but maybe every 2 days or so. So I'm using the French Girl Rose Lip Polish, so it's basically like a sugar scrub. And I wear a lot of lipstick, and then my lips get dry, especially because it's winter now. And so this really helps to like exfoliate and take off that dead skin. So I'm just taking a tiny like fingertip amount and scrubbing it all over my lips. And then you can use a paper towel to just wipe it off. So immediately after doing the lip scrub, I put some type of lip balm on. I've been using the Badescu Mint Lip Balm, but I'm not super particular about lip balm. Now that the rest of my skincare products have like sunk in, I'm gonna go in with moisturizer. So I'm using the Olay Complete All Day Moisturizer, and it has SPF in it. And I think I've been using this since I was like 10, and it's just so affordable and reliable, and it gets the job done. I've tried using other high-end skincare moisturizers, but I don't know, I just don't know if it's worth it if you don't have like problem skin. So this is like a really good drugstore option. Don't forget your neck. Okay, so that's basically it. I'll usually give the skincare like a couple minutes before I put any makeup on, just so it fully sinks in, and then it is a really good base for the rest of your day.
Okay, so before we end this video, we wanted to talk about a couple other products that we don't use on an everyday basis. So I wanted to talk about tea tree oil. Tea tree oil I use specifically to spot treat on my skin. So if I have breakouts or like blemishes, acne scars, all of that stuff, I would just use a Q-tip, a small amount of product on my Q-tip, and just directly apply that to my skin.
Another good spot treatment is salicylic acid. I haven't used it yet, but I know it's a big one that people do the same thing like spot treat. And the Ordinary has a good one, but it's always out of stock. So if you find it, then definitely get it. And then a third one, definitely harder to find, but is red sandalwood. It's much more popular in India, obviously. But that it's like a powder, you just mix water in it, and then you spot treat it on like where you have breakouts. That thing is like a miracle worker, but
yeah, and then you just sleep on it, and then the next day you just wash it off, and over time you'll definitely see like a difference with your skin.
Yeah.
Another product we wanted to touch upon is, this is actually a chemical exfoliator. It's an AHA BHA peeling solution by The Ordinary. The consistency of this is actually very interesting. It kind of looks like blood, see, but you do not use this every day.
Yeah, do not use any type of exfoliator every day. So there are chemical and physical exfoliators. Chemical are like these with certain active ingredients. Physical exfoliators are like the type of cleansers you see that have like little
beads or like scrubs.
Yeah, to actually like physically scrub off the layer of dead skin. But don't use any exfoliators every day. It's like a 1 to 3 times a week type of thing.
Yeah, and another tip is, if you don't want to invest in an exfoliator, you can just get a cleanser and add like a tablespoon of sugar. And make sure it's not too coarse on your skin though, and that also works. So again, this, you would leave it on for 10 minutes and then you just wash it off. Another important thing with using a chemical exfoliator is you should always follow up with SPF. If you're doing this at night, next day when you get ready, make sure to use SPF. This is very important.
Yeah, and then a couple of other extras are masks, face masks. So if you have more oily skin, then it's good to stick with like clay and charcoal. So these type of masks that come in a jar, they're very thick, and you put a layer on for like 15 minutes and you wash it off. These are good for like oilier skin.
There's another mask that I really like, which is the Indian Healing Aztec mask. We'll insert a picture here, but I think it's based off of bentonite clay. You basically can mix that with either water or apple cider vinegar. It works better with apple cider vinegar. And again, you just apply a thin layer, leave it on for like 20 minutes, wait for it to dry, and then wash it off. That's like a miracle product for if you have like acne scars or blemishes in your skin.
And then there's also sheet masks, which
this is like our favorite
everyone
masks.
loves.
Yeah. Another important thing when we talk about sheet mask is do not wash this off. So this comes in a sheet and it has like an essence or like a serum type of thing that's soaked into the sheet itself. So once you put it on, leave it for like 20 minutes. Also, don't leave it on for longer than 20 minutes thinking you're going to get more benefits, because at that point it's like a reverse osmosis situation where the mask is going to draw out moisture from your skin. So make sure you only have it on for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off, and you're good to go. You don't have to wash that off because you want to like let all that ingredients like sink into your skin.
So that's high-level skincare. If you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to DM us. We're going to post a lot of information and more tips for specific skin types on our Instagram page, so definitely check that out.
Alright, thank you for watching.